Yes, welcome back to the Sports Show. We're going to turn our attention to the women's footy here in Adelaide. Norwood, of course, finished minor premiers. Ferrall, who's our special guest, was one of the stars, but didn't quite go that well on the weekend for him. And I know you don't really... Welcome, Alison.
Thank you.
I know you really don't want to talk about last weekend, but we have to get to it to get to the next phase, to get to the one where you're going to win it. Yep. Of course, now Norwood have won a premiership previously, 2017, so we know that Glenelg got you, Westies got South, so you now have to play West this weekend at Norwood.
Yep.
Before we get to that, what's the wash-up of the game last weekend? If you look at the stats, and not that I'm a big stats fan, but they say possessions and inside 50 was a bit of a horror for you.
Yeah, it certainly was. Glenelg came out all guns blazing, and it definitely shows on the stats. They beat us in contested ball, uncontested ball, inside 50s when we were minus 30. So definitely not what we want, and is a big reason, obviously, why we lost. So definitely looking to bounce back, and the thing we just said at training last night in the review was that we want to come back this week and play our footy and get that contested ball on our side again.
Momentum's a funny thing, isn't it? You said that the Bays came out all guns blazing.
Yep.
You would have anticipated that, though. They probably anticipated you guys finishing top, coming out all guns blazing. But once the side gets a bit of momentum, it's a killer, isn't it? It's very difficult to stop.
Yeah. And
by the reading between the lines, that's where you guys had a problem on the weekend with the Bays. They got away and you were hard to peg them back.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we did really well, obviously, to stay with them through the first three quarters. There was less than a goal in it at three-quarter time. But yeah, once they got their first goal in the last quarter, they went on to kick another,
momentum,
4 goals. So
yeah,
that momentum.
So really the scoreline doesn't really reflect the game. The game was close all the time, but I think the final result, I don't know what it was, 20-odd, was it 20-odd?
Yeah, 26
points or something like that?
Yeah, I didn't want to look at it.
That didn't really reflect the game, did it? It didn't really, because the game was a lot closer.
Yeah.
But as we say, they get the first goal last quarter, momentum, boom.
Yeah.
Back in the old days, Ali, you were allowed to deck someone and then it would stop the play.
If we want to be promoting that.
Well, I said back in the old days, Phil, but nowadays you can't do that sort of stuff, and you cannot flood, you cannot, all those sorts of things. So
especially in women's footy, we play the anti-density rule as well.
Right.
So
that's right.
Not able to flood and that kind of thing.
That's right. So you have to fight your way out of situations, not fight as in fight, but you do, don't you? You need to get your hands on the footy.
Well, yeah, and especially with like I said, the minus 30 inside 50s, our defence held up really strong for three quarters, and with Glenelg just coming in that often, the floodgates kind of opened in that last quarter. So.
What position do you play?
Defence.
In defence, yeah. So you would have seen a bit of the footy on the weekend,
we had a big weekend back there. So, but yeah, really proud of the defence and but the team, we all lose together. So it was.
And your record against West Adelaide?
So we lost to them in round 1, but we had a very different team the second time we played them and beat them.
Okay, so it's 1-1.
Yeah, so 1-1. So.
But it's at Norwood.
Yes, at Norwood, at home.
I say, it's always the coaches that say it too. I don't know if the players ever say it. Gee, we learn a lot from that loss. We learn more from the losses. I think that's something you say to the fans and the sponsors, and no one really believes that. But you've taken away from that. Now you've moved on quickly, so we'll move on quickly too. Westies, and you've touched on it, 1-1 split, but you're at home this weekend. This week, the build-up coming into the game against Westies, I'm a big believer in how it feels, and you've been around now, you're the captain, you know how the group's feeling, they bounce back, are they a bit flat? What do you think the feel is coming into the game? Yeah,
last night, we did our review on the game on the weekend, and very well aware of, what we need to improve on, but at the end of the day, we are minor premiers for a reason, and it's just, getting back to the girls and telling them, that belief that we have, we are still the best team in the competition, and everyone has, a bad game, and as long as we've got that belief and can bounce back and play our footy again, we'll get through to that big dance.
What's the keys? The keys on the weekend to Westies, is it them stopping you or you stopping them?
It's us playing our game,
Yep.
and that's contested footy. Like, that's what we have won all year and pride ourselves on. So it's just going back to that and being first at the footy, and it'll go from there.
Yep.
Yeah.
So Glenelg would have done their homework on you guys, no problem at all. And they see that Norwood is a big contested footy team. So we need to be. So they were.
Yeah,
They came
absolutely.
out hard and were very good at it. So
Yep.
you've got something to look forward to. If you get over Westies, you'd like to have another crack at them.
Yeah, absolutely, and we'll be ready. Yeah, for sure.
It's always a bit of a distraction too, isn't it, Ali? You go, and we've all done it. We've lost. We'd like to play them again tomorrow. And we want to get that, but then you've got to get through a game to get to them to block that redemption out and focus on the game. What time's the game?
So we're playing at 11 a.m.
Yep.
So it's a good time for us, I think.
It is a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah, you enjoy that early time slot?
Yeah, we do actually. It's you don't have to wait out the day and decide what you're going to eat for lunch and that kind of thing. So the morning game suits us.
Do you ever catch yourself going into what's next? I know I've got to play against Glenelg, Westies, but I want to get to Glenelg. How do I get past that?
Yeah, so
mindset?
definitely just want to focus on the task at hand this week. The goal at the end of the day for everyone is to win that flag.
Yep.
But we got to get there first. So
Hey, how'd you get started in footy?
Well, I've been passionate my whole life.
Yep.
My dad, he loves his footy, mad Geelong supporter, and I had no choice as a kid. So,
Not the worst team to follow.
and my brother actually played for North Adelaide as a junior
Yep.
and came up through the ranks there. So I grew up watching him, and when he was playing, I was just on the sidelines, always kicking footies with all my friends around the ground. And
So can you explain the excitement to the viewers the moment you found out that women are going to be able to play footy? I mean, you could play a little bit, but when you could actually compete, there's going to be an AFLW, there's going to be a team at Norwood. Like, what was that moment like? Because you always grew up wanting to play, but not really able to.
Yeah, it really is a dream come true.
Yeah.
And to think now that there's kids these days that are watching us play and watching the AFLW is just really cool. And it definitely would be one of the happiest days of my life because I am so passionate about footy, and now that women can play it on the big stage in the AFL is just so good, and it's come a long way already. So
you talk about that, it has come a long way, and you can see that in the skill level in the players. The change since you came in maybe 5 years ago, I guess, 4 or 5 years ago, the skill level, the talented athletes that are now coming to footy, has there been a big jump in that 5 years?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm involved in some coaching and development, and I'm doing an under-17s program at the moment, and these kids coming through, they're unbelievable. Like the women that have been playing since they were, high, and their skills are so good. They can kick and handball, and their vision across the field, and they understand the game, and they're showing us the way. They're really good players. So.
You need support though, as a team, you need support off the ground. I mean, on the ground you're going to have a lot of support with your teammates, but your apparel people, the sponsors and all these people that come on board, really important people.
Yeah, absolutely. We've been really lucky this year. Appel have come on board at Norwood, and they're a major sponsor, and they've got some incredible merchandise, and what they've done for us so far, and the exposure for the women's footy side as well as the men's is incredible, and really proud to have them on board.
Well, Alison Ferrall is our special guest, of course. Norwood up against Westies, Norwood Oval this Saturday at 11 o'clock. Get down there and support the Redlegs. They want to get through and have a little bit of redemption over the Tigers in the following week in the grand final. Alison, really appreciate you coming in.
Thanks so much for having me.
Stay with us, still plenty to come.